Who were the Tecuexe indigenous peoples of Jalisco? These Chichimecas inhabited the central eastern Jalisco region near Zacatecas. Their territories extended west in present-day Magdalena, Tequila, and Teochitlan, south towards Ahuizculco, Guadalajara, and Juanacatlán, north in Acacico, Huizcuilco, and Mexticacan, and east towards Miti, Jalostotitlan, and Cerro Gordo. Politically, Caroline Baus de Citrom notes that there was no Tecuexe nation. They did form alliances with other Tecuejes who of course spoke the same language as them. In terms of government, they had an organized political system with male and even female caciques, in the case of Tonalan. It's unclear what language they spoke, but it was somewhere in the Euro-Aztecan family, similar to the Cocas who lived south of them.
Now personally, I've heard the name of the group pronounced as both Tecueje and Tecuexe. I don't know if there's one that's supposed to be correct or not, but if you happen to know, let me know in the comments.
In pre-Hispanic times, the Tecuejes coexisted with the Cocas in places like Tonalan, which was located in the city known today as Guadalajara. According to Fray Antonio Teo's Crónica Miscelánea de la Sancta Provincia de Jalisco, published in 1653, the Cocas and Tecuejes considered themselves as family members. Baus de Citrom suggests that there's evidence of intermarriage between them in places like Ixcatán, Ocotlan, and Jocotlan. According to the Relación Geográfica for Poncitlán and Cuitzel, they also challenged each other in flower wars, which were hand-to-hand combat competitions. Given their intimate relationship, it is possible that the Tecuejes helped the Cocas to fight back the invading Purépecha armies. The Purépecha lost control of the Lake Chapala Basin sometime before the Spanish conquest of Jalisco. This may have been thanks to the Tecuejes' combat skills, since they were rumored to be ruthless fighters, even by the Spaniards. One of the Tecuejes' greatest rivals were the Caxcanes, who lived north towards Zacatecas and northwestern Jalisco. According to Fray Antonio Teo, the Tecuejes first fought against the Caxcanes when they were still a wandering group of Chichimeca migrants who accompanied the Mexica. These Chichimecas claimed that they were being guided by their deity of warfare, Huitzilopochtli, to settle their new homeland. But the process was not a peaceful one. The Caxcanes attacked the Tecueje and Coca territories such as Teocaltiche, Mitic, and Ixtlahuacan during the first century of the Chichimeca migrations. According to Baus de Citrom, in some instances, the Caxcanes conquered the Tecuejes in places like Teocaltiche and Juchilapa. The Tecuejes sustained the war with the Caxcanes ever since, which lasted a period of at least 260 years, from the pre-Hispanic period until the Spanish settled peace with the Tecuejes and later the Caxcanes in the aftermath of the Mixton War and the Chichimeca Wars. Just like the Cocas, the Tecuejes also established peaceful relations with other Chichimeca groups like the Zacatecos. According to Baus de Citrom, there were Zacatecos known as the Guamares who lived in enclaves east towards the valley of Acatic, Zapotlanejo, Tecpatitlan, and Cerro Gordo. Notably, these weren't so-called nomadic or wandering Chichimecas like the Spaniards usually assumed. They also farmed. And during the colonial period, they raised chickens and other farm animals. In the San Juan de los Lagos region, there were Zacatecos who were known as accomplished hunters who mastered the bow and arrow. During the 17th century, these Chichimecas who lived in the Tecpatitlan region were still recognized as bow and arrow marksmen. In general, the Tecuejes were in good relations with these Zacatecos and even allied with each other to fight against the Spanish during the 16th century. What were Tecueje technologies like from the pre-Hispanic period to the 16th century? In places like Estatlan, Atitlan, and Guinao, Tecueje homes were made of stone. In the Lake Magdalena Basin, the Tecuejes also specialized in making boats that were propelled with round oars. Here, the Spaniards also recorded that Tecueje clothing was usually made of cotton and maguey fabrics. There was also a unique fashion style, or perhaps even a status symbol, among Tecueje men in Quinaquaro that involved the use of false beards made of straw, which may have had a connection to the custom of using false beards made of gold, silver, and copper in Nayarit. They were also familiar with metalwork. Tecueje warriors wore gold wristlets and necklaces, and their farmers worked the land with hoes made of copper. There are little references to the Tecuejes' pre-Hispanic religious beliefs. The Relación Geográfica for Teocaltiche mentions the worship of stone idols such as snakes and water deities known as Tecuexes. According to Baus de Citrom, the Tecuexes paid reverence to the sun, moon, and animal entities. The Tecuexes' medicinal practices also hint at their spiritual beliefs. They used temazcales and ingested herbs to relieve the sick from various ailments. Peyote also served various healing and spiritual purposes. It was also used as a topical ointment to alleviate tiredness and to give energy and strength. But indigenous peoples warned that taking too much brought upon visions. Throughout Central West Mexico, this psychedelic was only supposed to be ingested for occult practices and ceremonies. The Tecuexes discouraged the recreational use of peyote due to its hallucinogenic effects. The Tecuexes' first recorded encounter with the Spaniards was against the armies of Nuño de Guzman during his campaign to conquer Nueva Galicia in 1530. In Cuinao-Tototlan, a Tecuexe pueblo, the female cacique received the Spaniards and their native allies in peace, but warned that her daughter was gathering men to fight against them. The Tecuexe warriors fought Guzman and his indigenous allies from Michoacán, Tenochtitlan, and Tlaxcala, but were defeated. This did not stop the Tecuexes from rebelling against them. They formed alliances with the Caxcanes and Zacatecos to fight against the Spaniards in Jalisco and Zacatecas during the Mixton War. In these battles, the native allies took refuge in steep mountain forts known as peñoles. In the last battle, many warriors refused to be taken alive and jumped from the cliffs headfirst, leaping to their deaths. The end of the Mixton War signaled the Tecuexes and Caxcanes' allegiance to the Spanish. This would also engulf them in the violence of the Chichimeca Wars